وزدنا علما بك ومعرفة يا رب العالمين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا سهلا سهلا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today, inshallah, we will keep going with some stories, only maybe one or two stories of the suffering, and then we will move to, inshallah, some good news.
今天我们会再来讲一两个，就是先知穆罕默德他们早期所遭受到这种痛苦的一个故事。那之后呢，我们就会来讲伊斯兰之后就是变比较好的一个好消息的一些事情。
We already mentioned how or what kind of torturing and suffering the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions they were facing.
我们之前已经有讲过，先知穆罕默德和他的弟子有遭遇过什么样的一个磨难。
And one of the things that we didn't mention yesterday, like once the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was in the masjid in Haram.
就是有一个我们之前没有讲到，有一次先知穆罕默德他在这个禁寺里面。
Then Abu Bakr, then Abu Jahl, he get in and he said, if this man, means Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if this man keep on bowing to his God, I will step over his neck.
那阿布焦海就进来说，如果那时候先知穆罕默德在里面礼拜，然后阿布焦海就说呢，如果这个人啊，他再继续去跟他的神礼拜的话呢，我就要走过去把我的脚踩他的头。
And he tried to do. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was praying, and once the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made the sujood, then Abu Jahl came, and he really wanted to step over his neck.
那先知穆罕默德当他开始叩头的时候呢，那阿布焦海就过来准备要把脚踩在他的头上，他的脖子上。
But this time he couldn't. Once he arrived there, once he reached to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then his friends, the al-Mushrikeen, they saw Abu Jahl, he was so scared, and they saw him running back.
那他就快到了先知穆罕默德的时候呢，结果他旁边的那些他同伙的那些不信道的人，就看到这个阿布加勒一接近先知穆罕默德，他脸就整个变了，脸色大变，然后就赶快跑出去，就是整个好像很惊慌的样子。
So they saw Abu Jahl. They said, "What happened? How come you run away? You were just saying that you won't step over the neck of Muhammad and so on." So Abu Jahl, he said, "Don't talk to me. You don't know what happened." Then they asked him, "What happened?" He said, "Once I arrived there, and I wanted to step over his neck, then I saw between me and him, I saw a valley of hell."
那他的那些不信道的那些朋友就说：“你不是说你要把你的脚踩在他的头上吗？那怎么你跑掉了？”那阿布焦赫就说了：“你不晓得发生什么事情。当我要接近他的时候，在我的面前呢，就出现了一个非常深的一个火域。”
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if he, Abu Jahl, came one more step, he would go to hell right away.
先知穆罕默德说呢，阿布焦赫当初呢，如果再走近前一步的话，他就真的会当场就掉下去这个地狱里面。
We said before, when we are studying the story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we need to understand the deep details of this story.
我们之前有讲过，当我们要去学习先知穆罕默德的故事的时候，我们要去了解它里面深含的这个寓意。
This is a miracle for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
这
wasallam.
是先知穆罕默德的一个神迹。
And today, there are no miracles.
那现在已经没有任何的神迹了。
But Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is still with us or not?
那阿拉是不是还与我们同在？
He is with us.
他还是与我们同在。
Is Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala still supporting Muslims or not?
那阿拉还有在支持我们穆斯林吗？
He is still supporting Muslims.
他也是在支持穆斯林。
So if you are a real Muslim, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala will support you, not with miracles and not necessary miracles, but He will support you to remain safe.
那如果你是一个真的穆斯林的话呢，那阿拉呢也许会用神迹来去帮助你，但是呢还是会让你得到平安。
Still sometimes the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got hurt.
有些时候，先知穆罕默德还是真的受到伤害。
We mentioned yesterday when Uqba, when he brought the stomach and the dirt of the stool of the animal, the dead animal, and put it over the head of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
那我们之前有讲过，当那些不信道那个人呢，他就是把那个动物的这个里面的内脏呢，就把它倒在先知穆罕默德的头上，让他在叩头的时候。
And once the same person, Uqba, he came from behind the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was using his robe, his dress, and then he tried to hang the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
那
wasallam.
有另外一次呢，同样一个人这个欧巴呢，他就用他的衣服呢，就是把他勒住，从后面呢勒住先知穆罕默德的脖子。
And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was suffering a lot.
那先知穆罕默德很痛苦，
He was catching his neck.
那他真的就是勒住他的脖子。
And then finally Abu Bakr, he gets into the masjid, he saw this, he ran and he was pushing him and he was shouting him. Abu Bakr was shouting, he was saying, أَتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَقُولَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. You are killing a person only because he is saying, I believe in Allah.
那阿布巴克看到呢，就赶快过来把他推开，把他换开，然后就问他说：“你就是为了因为他要说他信仰他的神，就要把他杀死吗？”
See all of this suffering, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he and his companions, they suffered. Was it for free? It was not for free.
先知穆罕默德他的弟子所经历的这些痛苦，难道都是白白承受的吗？
It was not for
都不
free.
是。
When the time came, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, he handled it in his way.
当这个时机成熟的话，阿拉就会出手来处理。
Let us see what happened.
我们来看后来怎么发生的事情。
We said yesterday, Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, he went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he was discussing with him and trying to convince him to be away from this religion.
所以有讲到这个阿瓦利这个人呢，他是跟先知穆罕默德沟通，然后希望请他呢，就是不要再传播这个伊斯兰了。
And he failed.
但是他没有成功。
Then one group from Quraysh, they collect themselves and they decided to go to Abu Talib, the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who was supporting the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
那其他的在后来不信道的又聚集在一起，他们要去跟那个先知穆罕默德的这个伯父阿布塔利跟他讲，因为这阿布塔利是最支持先知穆罕默德的。
They went to him, they told him, your nephew, he is swearing and saying bad words about our God, about our idols.
他说呢，你的这个侄子呢，都在咒骂我们这个神。
And this is not good and not nice and he shouldn't do this.
他这样子做不好，应该这么做。
So we want you to stop him.
所以我希望你要去阻止你的侄子这么做。
And they were talking to him in a very strict way.
然后他们跟他讲话的口气非常的强硬。
Then Abu Talib, he went to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was in next room. He went to him and he talked to him. He told him, "Look, my nephew, I love you and I care about you, but I am an old man, and this issue, this thing that you are saying, is making things so difficult for me to face."
那这个他的伯父呢，就去隔壁的房间，就跟先知穆罕默德讲说呢，说我的侄子啊，你做的这些事情呢，就是说我年纪已经大了，那你做的这些事情呢，让我实在很没有办法去面对这个情况。
And Abu Talib was talking to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a way that he is showing him that he may not be able to keep on supporting him.
那阿布塔比跟先知穆罕默德讲话的口气，就让他知道说，你这样下去的话，我可能没有办法再帮你了。
Of course, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he knows that Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is the one who is protecting him and supporting him. But we are also learning from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Still, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he still wanted some big people to support him.
虽然先知穆罕默德他心知肚明，知道说真正在支持他的是安拉，但是呢，他也是要教导我们说，他还是需要就是一个就是强而有力的一个人物来去赞助他。
We need to learn. Yes, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is with us. Yes, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is supporting us. Yes, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is able to give us everything. But does it mean that we just sit at home and we wait for the support from Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala? No. We need to stand up. We need to work. We need to do all our best. When we are doing all our best, we are still raising our hands and saying, Ya Allah, we are doing what we can do and we still need your support.
那先知穆罕默德是告诉我们说，当然我们需要阿拉的一个支持跟帮助。那但是我们也不是就坐在家里什么事情都不做，然后就
he heard this from Abu Talib, he was sad.
当先知穆罕默德听到他的伯父这样跟他讲的时候，他就很有点难过。
And this was the fact. Abu Talib was defending him. Abu Talib was protecting him from the people of Quraysh.
那这是事实啊，他的伯父阿布超里一直在帮助他去抵抗这些古莱西对他的一个打击。
But still, did the Prophet Muhammad give up?
但先知穆罕默德就有因此就放弃了吗？
Never. What did he say?
没有啊，他怎么说呢
He said, والله يا عم لو وضعوا الشمس في يميني والقمر في شمالي على أن أترك هذا الدين ما تركته حتى يظهره الله أو أهلك دونه. He said, I swear by Allah, if they give me the sun in the right hand and they give me the moon in the left hand, just to leave this thing, I will not leave it until either Allah make it clear or I die for the sake of this purpose.
那先知穆罕默德他就说，我凭着阿拉跟阿拉来发誓，就算我的右手就掌握着太阳，左手掌握着月亮的话，我还是不会放弃就是伊斯兰这个在主道上这个奋斗。除非呢，阿拉他已经命令要让一切事情就是明朗化，就顺利了，或者是说我为了伊斯兰而死。
The Prophet Muhammad when he heard this from Abu Talib, it was kind of a message from him as if Abu Talib is telling him that I will not be able to protect you.
当他的叔父阿布查里跟他讲这些话的时候呢，等于就是好像给他一个讯息，就是说我可能没有办法再帮你了。
So the Prophet Muhammad he said this, and he left, and he was crying when he was leaving.
那先知穆罕默德刚讲完那些话之后呢，他就离开了，然后他边走就边哭。
So Abu Talib he couldn't bear it.
那阿布查里就是看得很不忍心。
To see his nephew, the one who was the messenger of Allah Ta'ala, crying because what? Because no one wants to support him.
他就看着说他的这个侄子呢，就是说他是阿拉的使者，然后在那边哭泣，因为没有人要帮他，他就很不忍心。
The Prophet Muhammad the messenger of Allah Ta'ala, didn't find anyone to support him.
那先知穆罕默德呢，他找不到其他的人去帮助他。
Then Abu Talib, when he saw this, he couldn't bear it. So he ran after the Prophet Muhammad. He hugged him and he said, nephew, you go ahead and do whatever you want. I will never be away from you until I die.
那我查理看到这个景象呢，他就不忍心，于是他就追过去，然后就抱住他这个侄子，跟先知穆罕默德说呢，他说我的侄子啊，你不要难过了，我就是到死为止，我都要一直保护你。
They kept on trying, the disbelievers and mushrikeen, they kept on trying and trying, not only to hurt the Prophet Muhammad, they even tried to kill him.
那些不信道的人呢，就是不断的尝试，就是不只是要伤害先知穆罕默德，甚至于想要置他于死地。
Second time, they went to Abu Talib, but they went to Abu Talib in a different way.
然后后来那些不信道的人又再去找阿布查里第二次，但是这一次的态度就跟之前不一样了。
And that different way, it was harder than the first way.
就比第一次还要更强硬。
See how when Shaitan is supporting someone, see the ideas that Shaitan brings to those people.
那我们可以想到说，当撒旦要在帮助这些人的时候，我们就可以发现这些人就会出现一些很新奇的一些想法。
They went to Abu Talib the second time.
他们第二次去找阿布查里。
They brought with them one person, his name was Ammar ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira. That Ammar ibn al-Walid was a young man, he was handsome, he was strong, and he was the son of al-Walid, very rich.
然后他们就带来一个年轻人，又英俊又强壮，而且是那个阿瓦利的儿子。
They went to Abu Talib. They said, Ya Abu Talib, we give you Ammar. You adopt him, he will become your son.
他说：“我给你这个阿玛，这个年轻又强壮的年轻人，我就给你，你收养他，你就把他收养他变成你的儿子。
And you give us Muhammad.
然后呢，我跟你换过他们。”
So Abu Talib, he looked at them. He said, so you give me your son. I raise him for you. And I take care of him for you. And I give you my son. You kill him, I will never do it.
他说呢，你要给我这个你们就是养大这个孩子，然后我再把我的这个养大的孩子给你们，然后让你们把他杀掉吗？我不会这么做。
They knew that Abu Talib would not kill Ammar.
他们知道说这个阿布查里不会把阿玛，就是这个年轻
even if they knew that Abu Talib would kill him, they have no problem. They only want to kill Muhammad sallallahu
那
alaihi
就算阿布塔利真的把这个阿曼就把他杀掉的话，他们也没关系，因为他们只要把穆罕默德杀死就够了。
But then, one day, one thing happened. See, when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He wants something to happen, then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He arranged the situation to let it happen.
就当会有件事情就发生了，当阿拉要让一件事情发生的时候，它就真的会发生了。
Once the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was in the haram with some people, some of his companions, and they were trying to pray or they were trying to do something. Then Abu Jahl, he came and he beat them.
那有一次先知穆罕默德跟他的弟子们在监视这边准备要礼拜，那阿布加尔就过来呢打他们。
But he couldn't touch the Prophet Muhammad
可是
sallallahu
他就是
alaihi
没有
wasallam.
办法打到先知穆罕默德，
So he was touching him with his tongue.
所以他就用他的嘴巴来去攻击他。
He was swearing the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
他就跟先知穆罕默德诅咒，
And he was saying a lot of bad words about him.
他就跟他诅咒很多坏话。
Was it easy for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make Abu Jahl 100,000 pieces before he said this?
那如果说阿拉要在阿布加尔讲出这么难听的一些咒骂的话之前，就把他本身就是碎尸万段的话，对阿拉来讲有什么困难？
It was easy,
非常的容易，
but he didn't.
但是阿拉却没有这么做。
Was it easy for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to raise his hands and say, Ya Allah, destroy this person? Was it easy or difficult?
那如果那个先知穆罕默德要举起手来，就祈求阿拉，就是把这个人把他毁灭掉的话，会很难吗？
It was easy.
也很容易。
And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the one that when he asked Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for something to happen, it will happen.
而先知穆罕默德只要他跟开口跟阿拉要什么东西，就一定会得到。
What did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do?
但是先知穆罕默德他却怎么做呢？
After he heard all of those very bad words from Abu Jahl, he left home. He just went back home.
他就听到阿布加尔跟他骂了这么多的脏话之后呢，他就不理他，就直接回家。
One lady, one servant, or one maid, whatever, she was there.
那有一个就是女仆在那个地方，
And she heard what Abu Jahl told the Prophet Muhammad
她听
sallallahu
到
alaihi
阿布加尔对先知穆罕默德所发的那些咒骂。
Then later, she saw Hamza.
然后后来呢，这个女仆就看到这个汉长，
Hamza ibn Abd al-Muttalib. Hamza was the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
汉长是先知穆罕默德的叔父。
And at the same time, by the way, Hamza, you can say that he was also his brother, in fact, because they breastfeeded by the same lady.
那你也可以说汉长跟先知穆罕默德他们两个是兄弟，因为他们两个的奶妈是同一个人。
And who was Hamza?
那汉长是怎么样一个人
Do you
呢？
know what was the hobby of Hamza?
你知道那个汉长的嗜好是什么吗？
When he was free, when Hamza was free, he just wants to have fun. He used to go to the forest and desert and try to hunt lions.
他如果说平常时没事做，要找一点消遣的话，他就会到森林里面去打猎那个狮子。
And the biggest fun Hamza, the biggest fun used to do is when he sees the lion attacking him, he get rid of his arrow, get rid of his sword, and start to fight with or against the lion hand by hand.
那他最大的一个嗜好呢，就是把他的武器全部都丢掉，然后徒手去把这个狮子把它制服。
This was Hamza.
就是汉长他这个人是这样子。
Of course, Hamza was one of the people that even before Islam, people that used to say Hamza equal to 1,000 men.
就是在伊斯兰降临以前，大家都说汉长这个人一个人配比1000个人，
This was Hamza.
就是汉长是这样的人。
He was walking. That female, that let us say maid, she was Muslim. She saw Hamza, then she catched the point.
然后这个汉长就走过来，然后那个女仆呢，她是穆斯林，她看到汉长的时候，她就抓住这个机会。
She catched the chance. She went to Hamza, and then she looked at him. She said, "You consider yourself a man?"
她就跑去跟汉长说：“你以为你是个男人吗
This is Hamza. What are you talking about?"
这个汉长这个人，
Then Hamza looked at her. You are a female. I cannot touch you. if he just slap her face once, she will be dead maybe.
他说汉长他是一个男人，他在对面这是一个女生，他不能打他，如果他可能一巴掌打去，可能他就死掉了。
She said, "What are you doing? You think you are a man?" And Abu Jahl is saying what he said about Muhammad and his family, because Abu Jahl was saying a lot of bad words about Muhammad and his family, of course. And Hamza is his uncle.
那这个女仆呢，就跟这个汉子就说呢，你真的以为你是个男人吗？你知道吗？刚才那个阿布加尔在骂你们全家人，骂这个穆罕默德，你们整个家族全部都要骂光了，就是什么巴拉拿抓出来骂的。那你还没有做什么事情吗
See, this is the wisdom. So Hamza, when he heard this, Hamza was not Muslim.
那汉子当时他还不是穆斯林，
But then, this is my nephew, and someone is saying this to him, and more above, my family, this is, our tribe and so on. So Hamza, right away, he was coming back from hunting. So he had his sword, he had his arrow, and he went right away to Abu Jahl.
那汉子呢，他刚打猎完了，那他虽然他不是穆斯林，但是他这个毕竟是他的侄子，然后他居然把他们家骂得这么难听，他当然不能坐视不管，所以他就带着他身上还有这些弓箭，还有这个宝剑，他就去找他。
He saw Abu Jahl in front of him. Abu Jahl, when he saw Hamza coming like this, then, because Abu Jahl also, he was very strong, but not same as Hamza.
那汉子就走到这个阿布加尔的面前，那阿布加尔虽然他也蛮强壮，但是跟汉子是根本就不能比的。那看到他就有点害怕。
Of course, when Hamza arrived, the people of Abu Jahl, they prepared themselves for something, but they were so scared.
那当这个阿布加尔他旁边的一些不信道的一些同伙，就是他们就是要准备好要帮这个阿布加尔，但是他们看到汉子还是会有一点畏惧。
Then Hamza looked at Abu Jahl. He said, "How come you tell my nephew such thing?"
那汉子就跟他说呢，你怎么可以跟我的侄子讲这么难听的话？
So Abu Jahl wanted to say something, but Hamza was unable to control himself. Abu Jahl wanted to say something. Hamza right away, he beat the face of Abu Jahl with the arrow. He opened his face from ear to ear.
那就是这个阿布加尔刚刚开口要来辩解的时候，那汉子他就是没有办法按耐不住呢，他就是用他的弓箭呢，就是直接从他的这个右脸这边打下去，就整个这边都裂掉。
Then he turned to check, is there anyone who was coming to attack him? He didn't find anybody.
然后他就转过身来看旁边有没有他的同伙要来打的，结果都没有人。
Then Hamza, it's only because he was angry. Hamza, he looked at Abu Jahl. He said, "You are swearing Muhammad, and I am following his religion. How come you are doing this?"
然后那个汉子就对这个阿布加尔就说呢，你在咒骂这个穆罕默德，但是我在跟他，我现在信仰跟着他的信仰他的宗教，你怎么做这样的事情？
But that time Hamza was not Muslim.
但事实上汉子当时还不是穆斯林。
But it is only because he was angry, and you are saying this about my family. Arabs, when you touch the dignity, when you touch the family of this thing, they have no problem to die for it.
那就是说，汉子虽然不是穆斯林的，但是他看到说你这样子来讲我们的家人，那阿拉伯人他们对于这个家族的这种尊严，非常的这种名誉，非常的捍卫，所以他就是很生气。
And Hamza, he considered what he said as an announcement that he is Muslim.
那汉子呢，他讲这句话的时候，他其实心里已经有准备，就是他就公开，就是公布，就说他也要成为穆斯林了。
And Hamza is a real man. His word is a word.
那汉子呢，他是一个真正的男人，他就是说话算话。
So then at night, he didn't sleep that night. He was thinking, what did I say? How can I be away from this trouble that I put myself? I told people that I am Muslim, but I am not. What is this?
那天晚上他就辗转难眠，睡不着，他想说我今天怎么会给自己捅这么一个篓子？然后大家知道说我现在成为穆斯林，那现在怎么办？我话就讲出来了。
At the early morning, he decided to go to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and talk to him.
那早上呢，他就去找先知穆罕默德去跟他讲。
He went to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He said, nephew, yesterday I did this and I said this. I said that I'm a Muslim and so on. And the whole night I didn't sleep. And at night I was asking your God. Listen to this. At night I was asking your God, means Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. I was asking your God, if you are real God, open my heart and let me believe in you.
然后他就说呢，我的侄子啊，我昨天
as we always say, you really want to know the truth, kick out of your heart other beliefs and make it clean, make it clear, make it empty, and then think. And raise your hands and say, Oh Allah, help me to know you more.
那我之前有讲过，如果你要有真正的信仰的话，你必须要把你心里面原本的这些一些成见哈，就是刻板印象，就把它清除掉，然后请求阿拉给你一个好的一个引导。
So if this happened, or when this happened, if you are really asking with a clear heart, if you are really asking with sincerity, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will not let you go, and He will lead you to the correct way.
如果你是带着真诚的心去请求阿拉的话，那么阿拉绝对不会丢下你不管，然后引导你走向正确的道路。
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he started to talk to Hamza.
先知穆罕默德就开始跟这个汉扎说，
He introduced Islam to Hamza,
他就把伊斯兰介绍给他，
and he started to tell him how good is it to become a Muslim.
他就跟他讲说，要成为一个穆斯林是一件多么好的事情。
And Hamza, because he was honest at night when he was asking Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he was honest. So once he heard the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam talking about Islam, then he accepted and he became Muslim.
那汉扎他是一个很真诚、很诚实的人。当他晚上在跟阿拉问的时候呢，他是带着真诚的心，所以他听完先知穆罕默德的介绍之后呢，他就接受，然后就成为穆斯林了。
When Hamza radiallahu anhu, he became Muslim, who can stop him? Who can hurt him?
当汉扎他成为穆斯林的话，有谁可以阻止他？有谁可以伤害他？
The one who is hunting lions, who can attack him?
这个人可以徒手去跟狮子打，还有谁可以去阻止他？
So Hamza, he started to walk in Mecca and check if there is any Muslim who is being hurt by the mushrikeen, by the disbelievers, he released him.
那汉扎就开始在麦加勒城里面到处去走，看有没有什么样的一个穆斯林呢，受到这些不信道的人的一个迫害，让他要去帮助他释放他。
During that time, Muslims, they used, with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to meet every day in one house of one of the companions, Al-Arqam ibn Abi Al-Arqam, which is Dar Al-Arqam.
那段时期呢，每天的先知穆罕默德都跟他的弟子在这个弟子他们家里面会面。
So they used to meet there every day for praying, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell them any new ayahs from Quran, and also talk about Islam in general.
他每天都在那边礼拜，那先知穆罕默德跟他们讲一些新降世的一些经文，然后在那边学习。
Dar al-Arqam, it was near As-Safa. It was a little bit far from Kaaba, so not really easy to be seen by al-Mushrikeen.
那这个聚会的这个房子呢，是比较靠近在奥萨法这座山丘，跟这个天房有点距离，所以不太容易被人家发现。
So they were still meeting secretly because they were afraid that if they meet on public, then other al-Mushrikeen will come and attack them. So they were still meeting secretly. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the whole day outside, walking, talking to everybody, and spreading Islam everywhere.
虽然说那时候先知穆罕默德在白天的时候还在麦加城里就是公开的宣教，但是晚上这个聚会还是秘密的进行。
Now, this remained, as we said, this remained like 3 years and something, like almost 4 years. It remained like this. It remained in Dar al-Arqam, remained secretly, but the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is spreading Islam to everybody.
他们这样秘密的这个聚会呢，大概持续了大概将近4年的时间。那不过白天先知穆罕默德还是有公开的在宣教。
Then al-Mushrikeen, their way of torturing Muslims, it became more and more serious, and it became bigger, and it became harder.
那就是那一些不信道的人对先知穆罕默德的迫害呢，就越来越演越烈。
So they came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, Ya Rasulullah, we need to find a way. Although Hamza is with us, but we need to find a way. We need to find a way to defend.
但是弟子们就跟先知默默的说，虽然说我们现在已经有汉子在给我们撑腰了，但是我们还是需要再找其他的方式来去阻止那些对我们的迫害。
But it was still not approved, or it was still not allowed by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It was not allowed that the Muslims, they can fight back.
但是呢，阿拉还是没有允许穆斯林去反击。
But Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He gave them another solution.
因为阿拉呢给他们另外一种解决方法。
So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He said, وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ. If you are unable to stay here, if you feel suffering, then أَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةٌ, it means you can immigrate.
阿拉说，如果你们在这边生活过不下去的话呢，那你们可以移民。
So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told al-Muslimin, he told the Muslims that time that the one who cannot stay anymore, the one who is really suffering, can go, can leave Mecca. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that time, he suggested Muslims to go to Al-Habasha.
那时候先知默默的就看着弟子们说，你们有一些人如果在这里真的过不下去的话呢，那你们就可以离开麦加。那他就建议他们就是去移民到哈巴沙这个地方。
So those who went to Al-Habasha the first time, because there were 2 times for going to Al-Habasha before going to Medina. The first time those who went to Al-Habasha, they were only 15 people.
就是说，在迁徙到麦地那之前呢，一共有2次的移民，就是迁徙到哈巴沙这个地方。那第一次迁徙到哈巴沙的时候，只有15个人。
The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, I suggest you to go to Al-Habasha. They have a just king who is fair, and that king, he was Christian, of course.
那说我建议你们去哈巴沙这个地方，他们有一个基督教的一个国王，那不过这个国王是一个很公正的一个国王。
His name was Al-Najashi.
他的名字叫安纳加。
Now, they went, some of those 15, or part of those 15 was Uthman ibn Affan
那这15个人当中，一个是奥斯曼，
and his wife. Who was his
他
wife?
的太太，
His wife was Ruqayyah, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
他的太
wasallam.
太就是卢盖亚，也就是先知穆罕默德他的女儿。
Remember the 2 sons of Abu Lahab, Utbah and Utaybah. They wanted to let the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu suffer more, so they divorced his 2 daughters, Ruqayyah and Kulthum.
就是我们昨天有讲到呢，当时那个阿布拉罕呢，他就是为了要给先知穆罕默德带来更多的痛苦，他就让他2个儿子呢，就他这2个儿子娶先知穆罕默德的2个女儿，他就让他2个儿子把这2个女儿给休掉了。
Everybody knew that time how much the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu he loved his daughters.
那我们当时都知道先知穆罕默德他很疼爱他的女儿，
And this was really big hurting to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu that his 2 daughters in one day they were divorced.
那他的2个女儿在同一天呢，同时被人家休妻，那对他来讲其实很大的打击。
But then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu he was taking care of them, and later Uthman ibn Affan he got married to the first one, Ruqayyah.
那先知穆罕默德他就照顾他这2个被离婚的这个妻子，然后不久之后呢，奥斯曼呢就跟他这个不是他这2个被离婚的这个女儿，然后呢不久之后呢，这个奥斯曼呢就娶了他这个其中一个女儿叫卢盖亚。
Later, Ruqayyah she passed away before Uthman,
那不久之后呢，这个卢盖亚他就死掉了。
and Uthman got married to Kulthum, the second daughter of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu.
奥斯曼呢就跟他的先知穆罕默德另外一个被休掉的这个女儿，就是
Kulthum.
这个女儿结婚。
And later, Kulthum she passed away before Uthman.
后来这个库素呢又比奥斯曼还早就死掉了。
And Fatima was already married to Ali.
那时候呢，法蒂玛已经跟阿里结婚了。
You know, some people they said that what is the problem of Uthman? Whenever he get married to one of the daughters of the Prophet, then that daughter is dead.
有人就在那边讲一些闲话，说那个奥斯曼这个到底有什么问题？为什么他每次跟先知的那个女儿结婚，他女儿就会死掉？
See the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See how merciful the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. When he heard this, he said, in front of everybody, he said, Wallah, I swear by Allah, if I had a 3rd daughter, I would how to talk to people.
我们要跟先知穆罕默德学习怎么样去跟人家讲话。
We need to learn how to appreciate people.
我们要怎么样去珍惜人家。
So those 15 Muslims, they went there. Some of them, like Uthman was with them, and Ruqayya was with them, and Talha ibn Ubaidullah was with them. Some of the companions, Mus'ab ibn Umair was with them, and some others.
就是这最初的这个15个人移民的人，就是有奥斯曼，他的妻子卢盖亚，还有其他讲的这些人。
Here we need to understand something. The Muslim or Muslims, they are not afraid of death, but they still have to take care of their safety.
就是穆斯林呢，虽然是不怕死，但是还是要保护自身的安全。
They are not. We shouldn't be afraid of death, but we shouldn't jump to death.
我们不要贪生怕死，但也不要一心求死。
So this was the first hijrah. Hijrah means immigrant. This was the first hijrah to Al-Habasha.
就是说，这是第一次的，就是移民到哈巴沙的这个移民。
Did the disbelievers, did al-mushrikeen, leave them alone, leave the Muslims alone?
让那些不信道的人就不管这些穆斯林了吗？
They didn't.
也没有，他们没有放他们走。
More and more people start to go to Habasha until this is in second Habasha. Later we will move there. But they didn't leave them alone. But let me go back to one story and then we go back to Al-Habasha. Meanwhile, those, they went to Al-Habasha. And still some, they were suffering in Mecca.
就是有些人已经移民到哈巴沙，那留下来的人在麦加还是饱受很多的痛苦。
Once Umar ibn al-Khattab, we know who is Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he knew that Hamza became Muslim, when he knew that more and more people, they are becoming Muslims, he decided, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he decided to go and kill Muhammad.
那欧玛呢，后来他就发现这个汉仔也成为穆斯林，那穆斯林的人数越来越多了，然后就决定呢，他要亲自要去把穆罕默德杀掉。
He said that we need to get rid of this person who is saying bad words about our idols, who is, destroying our land or whatever, and I'm going to kill him.
他说呢，这个人老是讲你们这个偶像、这些神像的坏话呢，那就在破坏我们的这个宗教，我一定要去把它除掉。
And this is Umar ibn al-Khattab. Also, Umar ibn al-Khattab was not afraid of anyone.
那欧玛他这个人呢，他是什么都不怕。
Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the things Umar ibn al-Khattab did was he killed his mate when he knew that she is Muslim.
那欧玛呢，他就是当他做了一件事情，就是当他知道他的女仆成为穆斯林的时候，他就把她杀掉了。
He killed her right away.
马上就把她杀了。
So Umar ibn al-Khattab was before Islam, Umar ibn al-Khattab was, we can say he was a very professional gangster.
那就是在伊斯兰降临之前呢，我们可以这样说，就是欧玛他这个实在是一个很大的一个流氓。
He was so strong,
他就是很强
so
壮，
big,
很强大，
not afraid of anyone,
谁都不怕，
and he was very good at talking.
而且他很会讲话。
He was able to read and write, and his way of talking was really scary.
他会读书写字，而且他的面貌呢，这个让人家看起来就会很害怕。
So Umar ibn al-Khattab, he made a decision that Muhammad should be dead. I'm going to kill him.
所以他就下定决心说，穆罕默德一定要让他死掉，我要去把他杀了。
On the way, holding his sword, going to check, he heard that Muhammad is near As-Safa, that area. So no problem, he would check, he would find him.
然后他就拿着他的宝剑呢，就开始走啊，跟人家讲说，穆罕默德在沙法这个山丘的附近，他就要过去那边找他。
So on the way, one companion of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who was a Muslim, who was from the tribe of Umar ibn al-Khattab, and who was hiding his Islam.
那在他的路途当中呢，就是有一个先知的弟子呢，他也是跟欧玛是同族的人，然后他已经私底下成为穆斯林了。
See, those are all lessons. Was this person? His name was Nu'aym ibn Abdullah. Was this companion Nu'aym ibn Abdullah? Was he afraid of Umar more than being afraid of Allah? No, but he was still hiding his Islam. Why? Because we need to be one wise people when we are spreading Islam.
那这个跟欧玛同族的这个人呢，虽然说他对这个阿拉的敬畏，当然是会是超乎他对那个欧玛的畏惧，但是呢，他还是没有泄露出他穆斯林的身份。这就是我们穆斯林，就是有时候必须要有这种智慧。
Nu'aym ibn Abdullah, he saw Umar ibn Khattab on the way, and Umar ibn Khattab was ready to kill someone. You know, his face was really scary. So he catch him. He said, Umar, where are you going?
那这个弟子呢，就遇到这个欧玛，他就看他看起来好像脸色好像有点怪怪，就不太好看，他就是给他拦住，问他说：“欧玛，你要去哪里？”
He said, I'm going to kill Muhammad.
他说：“我要去把穆罕默德给杀了。”
Then that Nu'aym, he said, Ya Umar, you are going to kill Muhammad. Muhammad is not from your tribe. Do you think that his people will leave you alone?
那这个弟子呢，他就说呢，你要去杀穆罕默德，穆罕默德跟你是不同族的，那你把他杀掉的话，你以为他们这个族人会放过你吗？
He told him, instead of killing Muhammad, you go and check your house first.
他说你要，与其要去杀死穆罕默德，你不如先回去看看你们家。
Who was in the house of Umar ibn Khattab? Fatima, the sister of Umar. The sister of Umar, she was Muslim.
那在欧玛的家里呢，有他的这个姐姐或者是妹妹，叫做 Fatima。
And her husband, Sa'id ibn Zayd, was Muslim.
那还有他的这个妹婿或者是姐夫。
So Umar ibn Khattab, he looked at Nu'aym, he said, what about my house? So Nu'aym, he said, your sister and your brother-in-law, they are Muslims. You go and let them leave Islam first before you go and kill Muhammad.
他说你的姐妹啊，他们的丈夫都已经成为穆斯林了，你要去杀穆罕默德之前，不先把他们解决掉。
Why he did so? Is it because he hates Fatima and her husband?
他为什么这么做？难道他讨厌这个法蒂玛跟他的先生吗？
See how Islam is teaching us how we should deal with the problems. Why he did so? Because if Fatima and her husband are dead, it is still easier than Muhammad to be dead. So he said so. So Omar will go back to see what is going on in his house, and Nu'aym will go to tell the Prophet Muhammad to run away. That Omar is coming to kill him.
因为呢，他为什么这么做呢？这就是他的教导我们的一个智慧，就是说，就算法蒂玛跟他的先生都被欧玛杀死的话，那也总比先知穆罕默德被杀死好，而且他可以利用这段空档，赶快去通知先知穆罕默德，赶快去躲起来。
This is wisdom and love.
这是他的这个智慧，也是他的这种对先知穆罕默德的爱。
You know, in the immigrant, when the Prophet Muhammad was moving from Mecca to Medina with Abu Bakr, only he and Abu Bakr, they were moving together. On the way, Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, sometimes he walked on the right of the Prophet, sometimes he walked on the left of the Prophet, sometimes he walked in the front, sometimes he walked in the back. Then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked him, Abu Bakr, what is the problem? So Abu Bakr,
就是先知穆罕默德跟阿布巴可要从麦加移民到麦地那的时候，那沿途呢，阿布巴可一下走他前面，一下走他后面，一下走他左边，一下走他右边，然后这样走来走去。那先知穆罕默德就问阿布巴可说：“你到底这样做干什么？”
So Abu Bakr, he said, Ya Rasulullah, I feel that someone is going to attack us from the right, so I go right. I feel that someone is going to attack us from the left, so I go left. I feel someone is going to attack us from the front, so I go front. I feel someone is going to attack us from the back, so I go back. Then he said, Ya Rasulullah, if I am dead, I am one person. If you are dead, you are the ummah.
他说呢，阿拉的使者啊，我觉得右边有人要攻击你，所以我就去右边看一下。那我觉得左边有人要攻击你，去左边看一下。那前面跟后面都是一样的。那就是说，如果说是我死了，就是我只一个人死掉。可是如果你死掉的话，是整个伊斯兰的一个国族，或是你的国族就没了。
See, this is responsibility and this is love at the same time.
这是这个责任感与这个爱的，就是两个结合在一起。
Umar ibn Khattab, he went back home to see, oops, what is going on in my house?
那欧玛他就回到家里看一下他们家里到底发生什么事情。
Khabbab ibn al-Arith, one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, he used to go to the houses with what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu with the Quran. he used to go and teach them Quran at home.
那这哈巴这个弟子呢，他就时常呢，就是会拿着这个，就像这个古兰经呢，就是挨家挨户的去跟这个穆斯林，去跟他们讲解、教导他们。
See how they used to work. See the system they had. Some people, they offer their houses for other Muslims to come and learn there, like who? Like Al-Arqam, Ibn Abi Al-Arqam. And others who cannot offer their house and who cannot come, so some companions, they go to them to teach them.
就是他们当时呢，就是有一个运作的一个体系呢，就是有些人他有地方，他就提供这个地方给大家聚会；有些人没有地方的话，他就提供他这个人力，他就是到处呢去教导他们这个伊斯兰。
This is, or those are very few points just to know, for us to know how far away today we are from the companions of the Prophet Muhammad.
我们听到这里的话是要提醒我们说，要比较一下我们跟当初他们一个情形的话，我们实在是遥不可及的，我们是距离他们太远了。
Someone like Khabbab, whenever he received, from the Prophet Muhammad new Quran, he used to go to the houses of those that they cannot go out to teach them Islam. He knew very well that if on the way anyone like Abu Jahl, like Abu Lahab, like Uqba, like Al-Walid, like Omar, anyone catch him on the way with this paper, he is dead right away. He knew this very well, but he didn't stop. He keep on going here and there, and finally he was in the house of who? In the house of Umar ibn al-Khattab, the biggest enemy, one of the biggest enemy of Islam. Still, he goes there and teach his sister Quran.
那这个弟子呢，他就是说，他每次先是那边有新降世的一些古兰经的一些经文呢，他就拿这些手抄本呢，然后就去一些就是没有办法出来学习的这个穆斯林的家庭，就是就是一家一家的去教导他们这个新降的一个经文。虽然他知道在沿途上，如果他遇到那一些很强大的一些不信道的人，有可能他随时都被杀死，但是他还是不会畏惧，还是这样子去教导他们。而甚至于他来到了这个欧马，就是他当时是伊斯兰很大的一个敌人，来到他们家去教导他的这个姐妹。
And today, there are some Muslims, they feel shy to say they are Muslims.
但现在呢，反观我们现在当地有些穆斯林呢，他好像跟人家讲说他是穆斯林，他觉得好像很羞耻，不好意思，不敢讲。
Today, there are some Muslims, if you are talking to them about Islam in front of others, then they say, no, later.
那现在有些穆斯林呢，如果人家跟他讲，就当大家面前跟他讲伊斯兰，说你先不要讲了，等下再说了。
Today, there are some Muslims, they don't want others to know that they are Muslims.
现在还有些穆斯林呢，他很怕人家知道他是穆斯林。
We go back to Khabbab, go back to those good people.
我们再回到这个哈巴这个例子。
Khabbab was there, Sa'id ibn Zayd, the husband of Fatima, was there. 3 of them and Fatima was there. 3 of them, they were reciting Quran. Khabbab was telling them the new ayah or the new chapter was revealed, which was chapter 20. Taha ma anzalna alayka al-Quran litashqa.
那哈巴他那时候呢，他正好在欧玛的家里，在教他的这个妹妹，还有他的这个妹婿，然后在教这个刚降世的这个经文，就是第20章，然后一起在那边念诵古兰经。
They heard the voice of Omar coming back.
他听到欧玛回来的声音了。
Khabbab right away, he hid one place.
哈巴马上就躲起来。
Of course, this is Omar.
因为欧玛这个人。
And why Khabbab hide? Because he was holding the piece of the paper which was written Quran on it.
为什么哈巴他躲起来呢？因为他手上握着这个古兰经的这个纸。
So, Omar ibn al-Khattab get in. He asked Fatima, "What did I hear?"
那欧玛他一进来，问他的这个妹妹法蒂玛说：“我刚听到什么声音？”
Then Fatima, she said, "Nothing." What?
法蒂玛说：“没有啊。”
He said, "I heard some stupid words you were saying. Quran."
欧玛说呢，我刚听到一些很愚蠢的一些话语。
So, Sa'id was there. Although, Sa'id comparing with Umar ibn al-Khattab is nobody. But anyway, you are saying something bad about Quran. So Sa'id couldn't control it. He said, "This is not silly."
那撒伊呢，就他这个妹夫呢，他听到有人在讲这个古兰经的坏话，他就是受不了，他没有办法忍受下去。他说：“这个又没有什么愚蠢。”
Omar said, "I heard." that both of you are Muslims.
那欧玛就说呢，我听说你们两个都变成穆斯林了。
Then Sa'id said, yes, we are Muslims, so what?
所以他就说，对啊，我是穆斯林啊，又怎么样？
Then it only cost Omar just to slap the face of Sa'id, he was faint.
然后欧玛就把这个撒印呢，就是一巴掌打下去，最后他就晕倒。
And Omar was talking to Fatima, then he was saying, is this true? Then she said, yes, this is true, and do whatever you want. So also he beat Fatima, and she was all bleeding.
那个欧玛呢，他就跟他的法蒂玛说，真的是这样子吗？那法蒂玛就说，对啊，就是这样啊，你要怎么样？然后呢，欧玛就是也是把他打，就是给他打一巴掌，最后他就开始流血。
Fatima, she had another piece of Quran in her hand, also the same one, Taha. So she also had another one to keep it for her to recite.
那法蒂玛他的手上还握着这个阿达哈，就是这一章的这个经文，他要念的。
When Umar ibn al-Khattab, he saw his sister bleeding, he is still an Arabic person, and those Arabs, they are so sensitive when it comes to the family and to the females and so on. So he regretted and he felt sorry.
那欧玛呢，就是说他看到他的这个妹妹在那边流血，他毕竟是个阿拉伯人，那阿拉伯人他们只要是碰触到他们的家族，尤其是家族里面的女性的话，他们整个心就会非常的敏感，整个就软化下来。
So he looked at Fatima, he said, give me this paper, let me read it.
他就跟他的妹妹法蒂玛说：“你这个纸给我看一下。”
She said, no, I will not give it to you. You may throw it away or do something bad.
他说：“我不要给你，你这样可能会把它撕掉，把它丢掉。”
So I swear by Allah, one of their idols, that I will not do so.
那他就凭着他拜的这个一个偶像，一个神像，他说：“我凭着那个神来发誓说我会这么做。”
So she catch this chance. She found that Omar becomes lenient a little.
他就抓住这个机会，就是欧玛好像有比较软化下来了。
And she had the piece of, Quran. It is real Quran.
那他的手上这一张呢，是真的古兰经的一个抄的一个页数。
So she told him, you cannot touch it before you take shower.
他就跟他哥哥说呢，你没有去洗澡的话，不能摸这个古兰经。
Actually, even if he took shower, did he become Muslim?
但事实上呢，就算他去洗澡，他也变成穆斯林吗？
He didn't become
他也
Muslim.
没有成为穆斯林啊。
But because she wants him to calm down,
但是他这样去洗澡的目的是希望他整个冷静下来。
he said, okay. So he took shower, and he came back. He came out. He came back to her.
那欧玛他去洗澡，洗完之后他就回来。
When this happened, then she gave it to him.
然后他洗完澡，他就给他妹妹就给他这个古兰经的这个手抄纸。
And as I told you, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was a wise man also. Although he was strong and so on, but he was able to read and write, and he was kind of an author, writer. He used to write things sometimes.
那欧玛虽然他是一个很强壮的一个族人，但是他本身也是识字，而且他也会做一些文章，那他也是很有智慧的。
So he read it. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى. So he read those few ayahs of this chapter 20.
他就念了这20章的这几节，
Then he was so touched.
然后他就非常的感动。
And when he, because also he was, his heart was soft when he saw his sister crying and bleeding and so on. Then he became softer.
因为他看到他的这个妹妹呢，已经在那边哭，哀又流血，然后他就心肠就整个很软了。
He said, these words are for sure from God.
他就说呢，这些话语呢，一定是神写的。
He said, there is no human being can say it.
他说没有人可以写出这一些文字。
Khabbab is hiding.
那时候哈爸爸还躲在里面。
When he heard this, he came out right away.
他一听到他这么讲，他就马上跑出来，
This is his business.
因为这就是他的工
This
作。
is the time. He came
这
out
个时候了，
and then he started to talk to Omar.
他就出来开始跟欧玛讲。
The first thing Khabbab told Omar, he said, Omar, don't let the Prophet Muhammad down.
那哈爸他出来跟这个欧玛讲的第一句话就说：“你不要让这个先知穆罕默德失望。”
So Omar was surprised. He looked at Khabbab. He said, what are you talking about? Then Khabbab, he said, He said the Prophet Muhammad every day he raised his hands and he said, "Oh Allah, make Islam powerful with Omar ibn Khattab."
那欧玛听到他就很惊讶，他就跟他爸爸说：“你说这话什么意思？”那他爸爸就说呢：“先知穆罕默德每天都在做祈祷，祈求阿拉呢能够让就是欧玛成为穆斯林，那伊斯兰可以更强大。”
The Prophet Muhammad always used to say, "Allahumma a'izz al-Islam bi-ahad al-umarayn, bi-ahab al-umarayn ilayk." Oh Allah, make Islam big and strong with one of those two Umar that you love more. Who are they? Umar ibn al-Khattab and Amr ibn Hisham. Umar ibn al-Khattab is Umar ibn al-Khattab, we know him. Amr ibn Hisham is Abu Jahl.
那个先知穆罕默德他每次都在做这个祈求啊，跟阿拉说啊，可不可以就是让这两个欧玛其中一个你比较爱的，让他成为穆斯林，让伊斯兰能够更强大。那这两个欧玛，一个就是我们刚刚讲这个大型欧玛，那另外一个就是阿布加赫，他的本名就是欧玛。
Because those both, they were really so strong.
因为这两个人都很强大，很强壮。
Then Umar ibn al-Khattab, he looked at Khattab. He said, "Take me to the Prophet."
那欧玛呢，他就跟那个他爸爸说：“你带我去见先知穆罕默德。”
So Khattab, he said, "No.
那他爸说：“不要。”
Why you want to go there?"
你为什么要去那里？
He said, "I want to become Muslim."
那他说：“我要成为穆斯林。”
He said, "Okay, so I'll take you."
他说：“好，那我带你去。”
He told him where is the place. So according to the Sirah, he didn't go with him, but he told him where is the place.
就是根据这个历史的记载呢，这个他爸他并没有自己带他去那个地方，他只是告诉他要怎么走，然后他自己去。
He told him you will find him in Dar al-Arqam, which is that house that they used to gather there.
他就跟他讲说，他们经常聚会的那个房子，他说你在那里可以找到先知穆罕默德。
Umar ibn Khattab arrived there, knocked the door.
那欧玛他到了，他就敲门。
The companions of the Prophet Muhammad, they were there. The Prophet Muhammad was there. Abu Bakr was there. And Hamza was there.
那当时呢，在场的有先知的弟子，先知穆罕默德，那包括阿布巴克和汉扎都在那里。
They checked. That one he checked. He found Umar ibn Khattab outside with his sword, of course. Always walking with his sword.
那一个就透过去门后，就是看一下，就发现是欧玛带着他这个宝剑，然后站在外面。
So he came to the Prophet Muhammad. He said, "Ya Rasulullah, Umar with his sword is outside. What to do?"
他就回来跟先知说呢，阿拉的使者啊，欧玛带着他的宝剑站在外面，我们现在怎么办？
Then Hamza, he said, "What he wants. If he wants to say something good, we will listen to him. If he wants something bad, we will kill him with his sword." This is what Hamza said.
汉扎就说呢，看他要干嘛。如果他来这边讲一些好话的话呢，我们可以听；但如果说他过来要做什么坏事的话，我会用他带来的剑把他杀死。
The Prophet Muhammad he stepped up and he said, "Wait."
先知穆罕默德就站起来就说：“等一下。”
And he asked one of the companions to open the door.
他叫他一个弟子把这个门打开。
He opened the door. Umar ibn Khattab get in.
那门一打开，欧玛就走进来。
The Prophet Muhammad he go toward Umar ibn Khattab. I told you Umar ibn Khattab, his look is scary.
就是说，我们之前讲过，欧玛的这个长相呢很恐怖。
The Prophet Muhammad he catch Umar ibn Khattab from here.
那先知穆罕默德就走过去他的面前，然后就抓住他的这个领口，
He pulled him down.
然后就把他的领口这样把他整个就是抓下来。
He said, "Ya Umar, either you become Muslim or Allah will destroy you."
他说：“欧玛，你要么就成为穆斯林，不然阿拉会把你毁灭掉。”
Then the Prophet Muhammad looked at Umar. He said, "When are you going to become Muslim?"
然后就看着欧玛说：“你什么时候才要成为穆斯林？”
Then Umar ibn Khattab he said, "Now, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أنك رسول الله."
那个欧玛他就说：“就是现在，他就念的这个作证词。”
When Umar ibn Khattab said the Shahada, the Prophet Muhammad he was smiling and he said, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar." So the companions inside, because this happened outside.
那就是当他就是念了这个作证词之后呢，那先知穆罕默德讲阿拉伯法，阿拉伯法，然后这个是他们在外面发生的事情，他的弟子是在里面。
So when the companions inside they heard this, all of them they knew that Omar became a Muslim, and all of them they were so happy, and they say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
那里面的弟子呢，听到欧玛念了这个作证词之后，他就知道他也成为穆斯林，大家都很高兴，就是念了这个大赞词。
Umar ibn Khattab, the first thing he did, he asked the companions, he asked them, "Who is the worst person in al-Mushrikeen who used to make troubles to you?"
那欧玛一成为穆斯林之后，他第一件
went to the house of Abu Jahl.
他就去阿布加尔的家里，
He knocked the door.
他去敲门，
Abu Jahl opened the door.
阿布加尔把门打开，
He said, "Hi, Omar, how are you?"
他就跟他问候说：“欧玛你好。”
Then Abu Jahl, then the Prophet, then Omar ibn Khattab, he looked at Abu Jahl. He said, "I become Muslim. Do you have a problem?"
那欧玛就看着他说：“我现在成为穆斯林了，你有什么问题吗？
Then
有
Abu
什么意见
Jahl
吗
just swear Omar, just said bad words to Omar.？”
那阿布加尔呢，就是开始骂那个欧玛。
This was the first thing Omar did. The second thing Omar did is that he went to one of the hill next to Kaaba.
那第二件事情呢，他就去那个天房旁边的一个小山丘，
He stand there, and Omar, his voice was so strong, so loud. He stand there. He said, "Omar ibn Khattab becomes a Muslim. If anyone wants his mother to miss him, come follow me there."
那他就在这个天房旁边的小山丘呢，他就大声那边讲说：“欧玛呢，我现在已经成为穆斯林了。那任何一个人，如果你要你的妈妈以后会去想你的话，那你就来这个地方见我。”
Means if anyone has a problem, come and talk to me, and I will kill him.
就是说，任何人有什么意见的话，你来跟我讲，我会把你杀了。
Once Umar ibn Khattab became Muslim, after he finished this, he came back. He said, "Ya Rasulullah," right away. He said, "We are real. We have the real belief, right or wrong?" Then the Prophet Muhammad said, "Yes."
那欧玛他做完这件事情之后，他又回去找先知穆罕默德，他说：“阿拉的使者啊，我们是真正的信仰，对不对？”那先知就说：“对。”
Then he said, "And those mushrikeen, they are wrong, right?" Then the Prophet Muhammad said, "Yes."
他说那些不信道的都错，对不对？那先知就说：“对。”
Then Umar ibn Khattab said, "Then why are we hiding it?"
那欧玛就说：“那为什么要躲躲藏藏的？”
Then he held the hand of the Prophet Muhammad from the right, and he asked Hamza to hold the hand of the Prophet Muhammad from the left, and both of them, they went out and they were saying, "La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah." They walked in all of Mecca, and no one was able even to look at them.
然后呢，欧玛就握住先知穆罕默德的右手，然后叫汉子握住先知穆罕默德的左手，他们就这样握着，然后就去走遍这个麦加的大街小巷，然后也不断的念这个作证词，然后没有人敢讲什么话。
And all the Muslims, they were walking behind them and they were saying, "La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah."
然后其他的所有的穆斯林就跟在他们的后面，也是跟着一直念这个作证词。
Dealing with Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, when you deal with Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, for sure, you will be successful at the end.
就说如果说我们是与他同在的话呢，我们到最后绝对是会成功的。
Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, he says, since Umar ibn Khattab became Muslim, no one was able to say one bad word to us.
那阿卜杜拉他说呢，自从这个欧玛成为穆斯林之后呢，再也没有人敢跟我讲一句坏话。
While one day before Umar ibn Khattab became Muslim, some Muslims, they were talking to each other and then they were saying, "Inshallah, Umar ibn Khattab will become Muslim." The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu is making dua. And the companions, they were saying, "Inshallah, Umar ibn Khattab become Muslim." So some of the companions, they were saying, "What are you talking about? If the donkey of Umar become Muslim, then Umar will become Muslim."
事实上呢，在他成为穆斯林的前一天呢，那先知们的弟子还在那边谈话，那边聊天，他讲说希望说，欧玛能够早日成为穆斯林啊，因为先知穆罕默德每天都要做这样的一个图案。然后可是其中一个弟子呢，就说呢，就算那个欧玛他的女子变成穆斯林了，欧玛他自己会去变成穆斯林。
No one was thinking that someone like Umar ibn Khattab would become a Muslim.
就由此可知呢，当时每一个人都没有一个人能够想象到说，欧玛居然也会成为穆斯林。
Abdullah bin Mas'ud, by the way, just to tell you one story about Abdullah bin Mas'ud. Abdullah bin Mas'ud, one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
就阿卜杜拉这个人，他是先知的一个弟子。
Once the Muslims, they were sitting together and then they were saying, it would be so nice if one of us can go to Haram and recite Quran loudly in front of the disbelievers.
他们就有一天让大家那边聊天来说啊，我希望会有一天我们其中一个人能够到达这个天房这个禁寺里面呢，然后就很大声的去吟诵这个古兰经。
Then Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he said, "I will do it."
阿卜杜拉就说好，我来去。
Abdullah bin Mas'ud, he was short,
他个子很小，
thin.
很瘦，
Even his sword was very small.
他的剑也很短，
He was very little.
他就是很迷你。
But by the way, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, although he was short and thin and so on, his feet, they were big.
阿卜拉他虽然说身材很娇小，但是他的脚很大。
This is later in Medina. Once Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was climbing one tree to bring some date to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were looking at him and laughing. From down they were looking at him, two big feet and then small, body. So it was kind of funny thing.
就有一个小故事，就是之后在麦地那才发生的。就是有一次呢，阿卜拉他就是要爬到这个野枣树上要去摘野枣，然后其他弟子们在下面看，就看到两只大脚，然后上面一个身材很娇小的人，大家都在那边笑他。
Of course, they were laughing, not making fun of him. They were just laughing, normal.
他们也不是在嘲笑，只觉得很好笑。
So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at them. He said, "What are you laughing at?"
那先知穆罕默德就问他弟子说：“你在笑什么？”
So they said, "Ya Rasulullah, look, it is funny, look that big feet, small body, climbing." So they said, "Look, look at Abdullah ibn Mas'ud." So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he smiled. He said, "The feet of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud on the day of judgment in the scale, they are heavier than the mountain of Uhud."
那他们就跟先知讲说：“你看他上面这个样子很好笑。”然后先知穆罕默德看了，他就跟他们说：“你不要笑。”他说在审判日的时候，阿卜拉的这个脚呢，在天平上呢，会比这个欧胡山还要重。
Do not think that you will go to paradise if you are beautiful or if you are handsome.
不要以为自己长得很英俊或很漂亮就会上天堂。
This is not one of the specifications of the people in paradise. This is not one of the qualifications to go to paradise.
这并不是上天堂的条件。
It is not what is your look, what is your color, what is your gender, what is your shape, or what is your nationality. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He make it clear. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He put His system. What is His system? Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The highest level to Allah are the most righteous people. That's all.
所以我们不要以为说我们的性别啊、我们的肤色、我们的国籍啊，会决定说我们要上天堂还是不可以。阿拉已经告诉我们说，阿拉他的体系呢，就是说上天堂的一个条件是在于他这个人是多么的正直。
So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, "I will do it."
那阿卜拉呢，他就再回到刚才那个故事，他就说好，我来去那个天堂里面在那边念。
Then he was waiting until all of those big people, they were inside. Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab, Al-Walid, all of those really big mushrikeen, they were inside.
他就在那边等待时机，等到那些很大的那些不信道的人，就是阿卜加和阿卜拉罕那些人全部都进到那个金寺里面。
So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he get in and he stand up in the middle of all of them, facing Kaaba, and he was saying, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ar-Rahman, 'allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, 'allamahu al-bayan. He was reciting Surah Ar-Rahman, chapter 55, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "The one who recites Quran the best after me is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud."
那阿卜拉看到那些大人物都在里面的时候，他就进到这个禁寺里面呢，他就面对着天房，然后在众多不信道的人面前就开始念这个古兰经的第55章。那阿拉的这个先知穆罕默德有曾经讲过，他说除了他自己本身以外呢，把古兰经念诵的最好的呢就是阿卜拉。
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, his voice was so nice, especially when he was reciting Quran.
他的声音呢非常的好听，尤其在念诵古兰经的时候更好听。
So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he started to recite Quran, and those mushrikeen, they became crazy.
那阿卜拉在那边念古兰经，那些不信道的人就被他抓跑了。
And then all of them, they jump over him and they start to beat him.
然后大家就过来要打他，就跳他身上打他。
And he keep on reciting until finally he found that he would be dead, so he ran away.
他就在那边一直念，然后直到后来他发现他有可能会被打死，他就赶快逃跑。
When he arrived to his companions, he was all blood and he was smiling. He was happy of what he did. Then they said, this is what we were afraid that will happen Mas'ud, he was not flattering.
那我们就是要知道，就是说阿卜杜拉他并不是在讨好人家，
And he was not retarded or psychopath person.
他也不是有头脑有问题，还是有精神有病。
When he came back with all of this blood, smiling, he was really happy.
那他全满身是血的回来的时候，还在那边笑，他真的很开心。
Why?
为什么？
When you have the test, when you really feel the test of doing something totally pure for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, no matter how much you suffer, wallahi, you will be happy.
当你真的真心的、亲身的尝到这种甜头，就是你完全为阿拉而做的这种事情，那你得到这种喜悦，你尝过这种滋味的时候，那就是就是以阿拉来发誓，就是说你会
You'll be happy.
你会真的非常的开心。
Remember when we were talking about Abu Dhar al-Ghifari before? Abu Dhar, when he became Muslim, the Prophet Muhammad told him, don't tell anybody. Then Abu Dhar, he went out, he went to Al-Haram, in the middle of Al-Haram, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. All of them, they jump over him, start to beat him until he faints.
那我前几天有讲过的阿卜杜拉，就是他从穆斯林之后，先知穆罕默德跟他讲说，你出去不要跟人家讲。可是呢，他一出去之后就跑到这个镜子里面，然后在推法的面前，然后当着大家的面前举手来念这个作证词，然后大家就过来打他，打到他晕倒为止。
This is when you really believe in Allah.
就是说，我们对阿拉是真心的这个相信。
Because there is something. I believe in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and I'm doing it for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And I know that it is totally pure for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala.
我信仰阿拉，那我就是真的为阿拉而做。那我的这个举意呢，我的内心呢是完全非常干净、纯然，是为阿拉而做的。
Now, I know the ability of Allah Tabaraka wa
知道阿
Ta'ala.
拉他的大能，
I know that He is watching everything, hearing everything, and able to stop everything if He wants.
我知道他在监看一切，他在听闻一切，然后他就是可以阻止任何一切发生的事情。
And I know that my intention is totally pure for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Then I do it, and whatever the result is, it is for sure for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala.
当我就是确定说我的举意是完全的、纯正的是为阿拉的时候，那我真的去做的时候，我就真的会非常的欢喜，就是这个完全都是为阿拉而做的。
We said before, Ibrahim alayhi salam, when they were throwing him in the fire, he was not sad, he was not angry, he was not worried. Why? Because he knew that he was a soldier for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. What Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wants to happen to Ibrahim, it will happen. Then why to be sad? Why to be worried?
那我之前有讲过伊布拉希先知他的一个故事，当众人要把他堆到火堆里面的时候，他一点也不畏惧，因为他知道他是阿拉的一个士兵，那么阿拉的一个战士，那阿拉会支持他，那没有任何的畏惧。
Now, we go back to those who went to Al-Habasha.
那我们再来讲那些就是移民到哈巴什这些的人。
You know when Hamza and Omar radiallahu anhum, when both of them they became Muslims, so more and more people they start to join Islam.
就是当哈姆扎跟欧玛都成为穆斯林之后呢，那伊斯兰的加入者就越来越多。
Omar, when he became Muslim, he was the Muslim number 14, by the way.
但欧玛他成为穆斯林呢，他是第40号穆斯林。
And Omar always used to regret and say, 39 people before me, they knew the truth.
那欧玛他每次都会觉得很遗憾，就说在我之前有39人比我还早就知道这个真理。
See how they used to what to say? See how they used to judge themselves before anyone judged them.
就是说他们在别人去评断他之前，他自己会先给自己评断。
Today, we are perfect on judging everybody, but not judging myself.
我们今天大家都很会去评断别人，他都不会自己去评断自己。
But there, it was different.
但是当时呢，他是跟我们现在的不一样。
Umar ibn al-Khattab always used to say, 39 wise person they were before me.
那欧玛老师在说呢，有39个比我还有智慧的人。
Umar ibn al-Khattab, we said this before, Umar ibn al-Khattab is the one who was from time to time talk to himself.
就欧玛他常常会跟自己讲，
From time to time, he didn't do anything, but from time to time, he put his hand over the candle and he said, Ya Umar, are you able to bear this on the day of judgment?
他常常就是把他 上面，然后他跟自言自语跟自己讲说：“欧玛，你在审判日你可以承受这种痛苦吗？”
He didn't do anything, but just a reminder.
他并没有做什么坏事啊，但是他还是这样时常的激励自己，去提醒自己。
Umar ibn al-Khattab was one of the people that one time, one person, we said this before, one person, he gave him a cup of water that was cold a little. He drank like one sip maybe, then he returned it back. He said no need.
那欧玛呢？有一次呢，他就是人家给他一杯比较凉的水，白开水来喝。那喝一口之后，他就放在旁边说不要了。
So they asked him, they said, Omar, is there any problem with the water?
人家问他说这水有什么问题吗？
He said, I'm afraid. Because there is one ayah in Quran, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, أَذْهَبْتُمْ طَيِّبَاتِكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَاسْتَمْتَعْتُمْ بِهَا. That, he said, I'm afraid that on the day of judgment, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala will say, Omar, you already enjoy yourself in this life, so you will not enjoy yourself here.
因为呢，他想起古兰经的其中一个章节，然后他就对他讲说呢，我怕在审判日的时候，阿拉会跟我讲说，欧玛，你今生已经享受很多了，那现在不用给你什么东西了。
This is for a cold cup of water.
它不过是一杯比较凉的开水而已。
Umar ibn al-Khattab, the one that one day he get into the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So he saw Ali, he has one bowl, it has water.
那有一次欧玛，
Not water, vinegar.
他有一次欧玛进到这个阿里的家，然后发现他有一碗的醋，
And one bowl, it has olive oil.
那一碗的这个橄榄油。
And Ali is using, kind of bread, but it is dry. Just to put it in the vinegar and eat it, or put it in the olive and eat it.
那阿里他
This
就
was their food.
拿一个干面包呢，有时候就沾这个醋来吃，有时候就沾这橄榄油来吃。
Umar ibn Khattab, he get in, he found Ali has this food.
那欧玛进来发现阿里有这些食物，
He said, Ya Ali, you have to fear Allah. You are eating two kinds of food in one day. This is haram.
就跟阿里说，你要敬畏阿拉哎，你一天就吃2种食物，这样是哈让的。
Either vinegar or oil. Both, this is wasting.
他觉得连喝这个醋还有这个橄榄油都是浪费。
Then do you think that Umar ibn Khattab will know us today?
那你觉得欧玛今天看到我们今天穆斯林的享受，他还认得出我们吗？
Now this is Umar ibn Khattab. Everyone has level.
就那这是欧玛他本身的一个层级，他的层次。
Now, when Umar ibn Khattab and Hamza radiallahu anhu, when both of them they became Muslims, more and more people they became Muslims.
就是欧玛跟他们长成为穆斯林之后，就越来越多穆斯林，新的穆斯林。
And then some more people they went to Al-Habasha.
有一些人呢，就是移民到哈巴sha这个地方。
Until finally in Al-Habasha there were like 80 people.
最后哈巴sha这边有80个移民者。
Now, did Al-Mushrikeen leave them alone?
那一些不信道的人就放过他们了吗？
They didn't leave them alone.
他们连这些移民的都不放过他们。
What they did?
他们做什么事情呢？
Amr ibn al-As, he became Muslim later.
就阿姆这个人，他虽然之后他有成为穆斯林，
But before, he was not Muslim.
但是他在还没有成为穆斯林之前，
Amr ibn al-As was one of the Arabs who was very good at talking and who was very smart and tricky.
那这个人呢，他很会讲话，而且很多的一些计谋。
This was Amr ibn al-As.
就是这个人。
And by the way, when Amr ibn al-As became Muslim, radiallahu anhu, when he became Muslim, later, one day, they asked him, after the Prophet Muhammad passed away, they asked him to tell them how the Prophet looked like.
就是后来他成为穆斯林之后，然后就是很久之后，那先知曼德已经归真了，然后其他的弟子就问他说：“你会告诉我先知曼德长什么样子？”
He said, I cannot.
他说我没有办法。
They said, why?
他们就说为什么？
He said, since I became Muslim, until the Prophet Muhammad died, passed away, I was unable to put my eyes into his eyes because I was there and he was there the whole time in Mecca and I didn't believe in him. I feel so shy to look at him.
他说自从我成为穆斯林到先知归真，我从来没有正眼看过先知曼德的双眼，因为我非常的就是遗憾，就是很对不起，就是我之前呢，就是整个在麦加的时候，他也在，那我也在，但是我居然都不相信他。
See, this is again, see how they used to judge themselves.
就是说我们可以由此可知他们是怎么样去评断自己。
Although Amr ibn al-As was one of the people that the Prophet Muhammad made dua for them, but he was still unable to put his eyes into his eyes.
即使说先知穆罕默德都会为这个阿姆这个人做古啊，但是他自己还是很羞愧，他不敢去正眼看先知穆罕默德。
Actually, in Arabic, he said, "Ma mallaytu wajhi fi wajhi Rasulillah qat." It means that like this, I know that the Prophet is looking at me. I will not raise my face.
就是说他们的这个阿拉伯语的话，他们讲就好像我知道先知穆罕默德在看我，那我也就是不敢看他这样子。
See, today there are some Muslims, they pray, they fast, they read Quran, and then they say, "Who is Muhammad?"
现在有些穆斯林呢，他有礼拜有斋戒，然后可是呢，他还说穆罕默德是谁啊？
There is one scholar, I cannot say Imam, there is one scholar in one of the places in the Middle East. MashaAllah, there are a lot of people, they listen to him.
在中东呢，有一个学者，要说他是教长，但是很多人都听他的话。
He said Muhammad was a loser in one of the period of the time.
可是呢，每次他讲到先知穆罕默德的故事的，那个穆罕默德呢，他在有一段时间呢，根本就是非常窝。
How come you say that Muhammad was a loser?
你怎么可以说先知穆罕默德是一个失败的人？
If even before Islam, they used to call him as-Sadiq al-Amin. If even before Islam, all the people they used to believe in him, because they knew who was Muhammad. This is even before Islam. You, as a Muslim scholar, talking, he was a loser. What is this?
那先知穆罕默德在他成为先知之前，大家都非常的尊敬他，说他是一个非常诚实的人。那即使在成为先知前，他都是一个这么受人敬重的人。那为什么你是一个伊斯兰的一个学者，你居然会说，那先知穆罕默德在成为先知之后，很
I say I cannot tell you what is the face of the Prophet looks like because I feel shy.
那我们就刚刚讲回来讲这个，就是他就说他其他弟子问他先知穆罕默德长什么样子，他说我不知道他长什么样子。
So Amr and Abdullah ibn Abi Rabi'ah, those two disbelievers that time, they were a good friend to Al-Najashi. Al-Najashi was the king of Al-Habasha.
就是刚刚这个刚刚出来，他们两个人他们是很好的朋友，然后他们跟这个哈巴sha的这个国王也有一些交情。
So they a lot of gifts, and they went there to kick out, to return back those Muslims to Mecca.
然后呢，他们两个呢就带了很多的礼物呢，去到这个哈巴sha去送给国王说，把那80个那个穆斯林把他们赶回去麦加，不要让他们住在那里。
Tomorrow, inshallah, we will. الله خيرا وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.